Greetings, my name is Kerry and welcome back to my channel. It's raining pretty heavily outside, so you may be able to hear that. I'm in my new house. I've been here about a month. I haven't had internet for a month, so you haven't seen a lot of videos from me, but there will be a few coming, and there will be still a few that I filmed over the summer before I moved that I haven't had time previously to edit and upload, so look out for them. But today, I feel like I've said this all in the wrong order, but today we've got my October TBR, so I'm just gonna get on with it really, because I've got a few other things I need to film today. But yeah, I just wanted you to be aware that if like my filming location reverts to my old place, it's because I filmed it before I moved and just haven't been able to upload it yet. So yeah, look out for a few slightly older videos coming. But today is my October TBR, as I said. First of all, I'm gonna catch up on what I read for my September TBR. So September I did Cluedo picks, and I also was taking part in the magical readathon. So for Cluedo picks, I drew 4 cards and I finished 3 of them, and I've started the 4th one, and because my life is very busy and this is a hobby, I've decided to allow that. I drew the Miss Scarlett card, which is a book with red on the cover, and for that I read The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heep, which I've already returned to the library. I drew Miss Peacock, which is a book with blue on the cover, and for that I read We Hunt the Flame by Hafsah Faizal. I drew the Dagger card, which is a fantasy book, and for that I read Redemptor by Ifueko. And the one that I haven't quite finished yet was, I'm not going to take the card out because it's marking my place, the Study card, which is an international book, and I am reading Yesterday by Juan, Emar, so I'm about maybe a quarter of the way into that. I plan to finish it, and then because I'm now back into college every day, I've got lectures and I'm starting my PhD, so it's just, September has been a very busy month. I haven't read a whole lot of books, which you'll see my September wrap up coming fairly soon, so I'm giving myself a bit of grace that I didn't manage to finish this. I planned to finish it, I hadn't planned to do anything in the evening, so I was going to try and finish this then, and I got into bed probably around 9 so that I could read it, and I was asleep by 9:30, having only read a very small amount of it. Yeah, so I'm gonna let myself off the hook a little bit and say, because I started it before the end of the month, I'm not gonna count it against myself, but I will finish it this month, and it will kind of be an extra bonus one this month, which if I haven't finished it by the end of this month, then it will count against me and I will have to draw my murder card. So for now, this murder card is staying secret, and I'm going to draw 4 cards this month, and will need to have finished all 4 of those and the one hanging over from last month in order to not have to read an extra book in November. Hopefully that makes some sort of sense. I'm only going to draw 4 cards in October because, as I mentioned, September's been a crazy busy month. I mean, I moved as well, as you can probably tell. Oops. Throwing the cards all around, and I'm still getting into the rhythm of studying, doing a research program. I have a few lectures as well that I have to do, so it's all been a little bit all over the place. Yeah, so I'm gonna only draw 4 cards, but also have the forfeit of finishing the book that I didn't finish. I've got my book trolley here. My main bookcases are in the other room. I'm gonna do my best to pick books from the book trolley, because these are the kind of the more urgent ones. There's ones I'm borrowing from the library, ones I'm borrowing from other people, and the ones that are on the lists, my oldest on my TBR list and my series I need to finish list that I haven't managed to get to yet. So they're all on there. I'm going to try and draw from here first, but if I can't find books to fit the prompts, then I will have to go and get some from the bedroom where the bookcases are. Okay, without any further ado, let's draw the first card. So we've got Miss Scarlett. She is very popular. So this is a book with red on the cover. It's a mood read card, so I can apply this to any book that I finish in the month that has red on the cover. I don't have to pick it in advance, so that's very helpful for my first card. Okay, the next card is Mrs. Peacock. This feels like a repeat of last month. Yeah, so that's another mood read card. That's another one. I just have to read a book with blue on the cover, and I can apply it to any book I finish within the month. Okay. Let's hope I don't draw any more character cards, because I think I will have to reintroduce the rule where if I draw 3 of the same type of card, then I have to draw an extra one, because if I'm just doing mood reads all month, it's not really that exciting. Okay, she says, and draws Colonel Mustard. Okay, so I've got 3 mood reads now, so this is any book with yellow on the cover. It's not very fun for you if I'm not actually picking books in advance. Okay, we're gonna draw a bonus one because I picked 3 of the same type of card. So we've got it's actually ridiculous. So that's any book with green on the cover. Great. I'm just gonna have like a whole month of reading colourful books, aren't I? Right. Okay. Okay, Revolver. That's finally not a character card. So Revolver is read a mystery or thriller. Okay, so for this, I'm going to read a book that my Space Sirens friends have been raving about a lot recently. Some of them have read it a while ago and just really love it. I think this is the first in a series and the 3rd one came out quite recently. My friend Penny is lending this to me. She's also lent me the 2nd one. I'm not sure if I actually said this is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. So I've heard so much hype about this series and so I've been really looking forward to reading this. So I will pick this up for my mystery / thriller, my Revolver card. So having only drawn 1 actual book, I then have 4 mood reads, which is actually kind of quite helpful because I don't know what I'm going to get around to, but also there is a little bit of pressure there if I have to finish this many books, but I do have quite a lot of books on my currently reading shelf, some of which may work for these. Yeah, I've got a few things that will fit into those categories that I'm currently working on anyway, and there's quite a few other things I want to get to. So on top of my 1 book that I've drawn in advance of my Cluedo picks, goodness, I'm also going to talk about a couple of other things that I want to try and get to. So our September pick for Space Sirens that I haven't managed to get to yet is Ninefox Gambit. A live show for this is in a couple of weeks. This helpfully has blue and yellow on the cover, so that could work for either of those. Really excited about this. It's another one I've heard some really good things about from the other Space Sirens. Looking forward to reading this and then getting involved with the live show discussion for this one in a couple of weeks' time. I'm sitting out the October book because it's not available cheaply in the UK and the premise didn't interest me enough that I wanted to pay a lot of money for the hardback. I am a poor student, I don't have loads of money. I can't actually remember what it's called. I will put it on the screen. It's something like Summer Suns or something Suns, and I can't remember the author, but I'll put it on the screen for you. So that's our kind of spooky October book. I mean, the other things that I'm going to try and get to is I've got a lot of library books out. I'm not going to go through all of them right now. But to help structure my reading a little bit more, I think I'm going to pick one thing from the character creation for Magical Readathon. I just realised that I forgot to say what I read for Magical Readathon this month. Just put my Cluedo cards away before I lose them. So I finished 3 books for the Magical Readathon out of my TBR of 7. Which isn't too bad. You needed to finish 2 to complete the challenge, so you know what, I'm actually all right with that. The first one that I finished was The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heep, which was a prompt that was the Ash-Torn Tree, a book that keeps tempting you or is at the top of your TBR. So this was one I'd taken out of the library a few months ago, didn't manage to read it in time and had to take it back and then had to wait for months because it's the only copy in the library system. So I was very excited when I got that back and read that very quickly. The next prompt that I read was Obsidian Falls, which was read a thriller or mystery book. So the book that I read for that, Half-Blood Blues by Edugyan, was less mystery and thrillery than I had expected. It was actually more historical fiction, but there was a mystery element. It's about the disappearance of a young mixed race jazz trumpeter in Paris in the 1940s. He's arrested by the Nazis and disappears. And then like 50 years later, 2 of his bandmates have taken part in filming a documentary about this young jazz player, Hieronymus Folk, and they're going back to Europe to try and track down what happened to him. The story didn't quite take the forms I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like them trying to uncover what had happened, but actually it was more telling the events leading up to his arrest and then a little bit of present day stuff. But it was still really good and I really enjoyed it, and there definitely was a mystery element, just not quite as much as I thought. Anyway, so that was that one. And then the final book I read for that was Redemptor by Ifueko, which was Tower of Rumination read a 5-star prediction. I predicted I was going to give this 5 stars because I gave Raybearer 5 stars. Actually, it didn't quite live up. It wasn't quite as good to me as the first book in the series, so I ended up giving it maybe 4.5 stars. It wasn't quite a 5-star read, but I did think I was going to give it 5 stars, so it still counts. So those were the books that I read for the Magical Readathon. The Novice Path, I finished 3 out of the 7 I planned to read, and then there's character creation, which there are 3 different options to try and work towards creating your character. I haven't looked into all of the details of these, but just to give myself a bit more structure to my reading, I'm going to try and pick ones that fit with the colours that I've picked for my TBR. But I think I'm just going to pick one book to go towards this, and it's also going to help with my other challenges and also matches on my colours. So I'm going to try and read The Confessions of Catherine de Medici, which is one of the oldest books on my TBR, and one of the prompts for the heritage of the character is read one of the oldest books you own or have on your TBR. So this works for that. So that is a heritage called Skymorn. I can't remember that much about them. I will link back to the announcement video about the Magical Readathon where she goes into all the details about all of these things, but that will give me another thing to structure my reading a little bit, and it has yellow and blue on the cover as well, so would also count towards my character cards that I drew so many of. Make me fairly certain that my murder card is not a character card, because I think nearly all the character cards have come up now. Anyway, yeah, so that's going to be my TBR. I'll also have to find, obviously, 2 more books, but that's not a bad TBR. Oh, and this one. That's not a bad TBR. That will be 6 books in total. I read 6 books in September. I usually read a lot more than that. There were various reasons why I didn't read as much in September, but that's okay, we'll go with that. I might also try and pick up something a bit spooky, not for definite, but I might try and read The Reckless Afterlife of Harriet Stoker, which has green on the cover. I'm borrowing this again from my friend Penny. I don't go massively into like Halloween-y spooky books, but this probably works for that autumnal spooky season, so maybe we'll try and get to that one as well. But the good thing about the mood read cards is that I don't have to pick them in advance. I forgot, there's another book that I need to read because I'm taking part in a blog tour for it, and I can't remember what it's called. Let me just check. Okay, so I'm taking a part in a blog tour for a book. I think it's called Mauto. It's spelled M-A-U-T-O. The author is Kuda di Gutu. It is, I believe, African-inspired fantasy. The description sounded really cool. My review day for that is the 28th of October. It's an Instagram review initially, but I will do a video review for it as well. I just might not have that up in time for the blog tour, but I just need to do an Instagram post for the blog tour, from what I understand. I will do my best to have the video review up before then as well. Anyway, and that also has yellow and blue on the cover. So I'm finding it really easy to cover the yellow and the blue, not so much the red and the green yet, but we will see how we get on. Okay, so anyway, let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Let me know some of what you're planning to read in October. If you're taking part in any readathons, let me know if you took part in the Magical Readathon and some of what you read for that. Or if you just want to let me know that you have been here but you can't think of anything particularly you want to say, or just want to let me know that you've made it this far in the video, then please leave me an autumnal emoji because it is very autumnal. It's raining a lot here recently. Please also like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't already, and you can also follow me on my social media. All that information is listed for you in the description box below. But that's it for today, so thank you so much for watching and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!